PTF and JK back with you. Kentucky Downs meet is underway, and this opening Saturday card is loaded. We got a load of stakes, possible Breeders' Cup clues even, but also some chances to just hit these races and make some money. You see what the average win price is at Kentucky Downs. It's something worth paying attention to, that's for sure. And we've got you covered here every day of Kentucky Downs. We're going to have a video and a free newsletter. If you want to sign up for our newsletters, they're going to have a bunch of extra written content in themoneypodcast.com/email. We're also promoting the contests that they've got cooking. We'll put a link in the description so you can check out what's going on with the King of the Turf contest this time around. And then also, we've got data for you for $1, unlimited race lens subscription if you use the promo code KY Downs 25. It's $1. Go to equibase.com, navigate over to the Race Lens tab. 1 month unlimited of this very powerful past performance and research tool. You're going to want to get involved. JK, we got lots of stakes this time around. We had a good card on opening day to talk about, but business is about to pick up with this Grade 2 ladies turf sprint. What numbers are going to be on your tickets as we light this candle?
Yeah, I need 2 A's and a B. The 2 A's I need are Zeitlos and AG Bullet. I mean, AG Bullet, I think she stands out for some of the races that she's had. She's won at Kentucky Downs. It's one of my favorite things to look at when I go through these races. I go through that part of the past performances, and I put a highlight on the horses that have won here before. And then I put a red highlight for the horses that have not won here before, that have tried and not won. If you haven't run here, I don't give you a penalty for that. AG Bullet has won. I want to use Zeitlos as well. Zeitlos ran second here one time. She's run well in turf sprints. I thought her last turf sprint where she ran into Future Is Now was pretty darn good. And then Jody's Pride. I got too much respect for Jorge Abreu for this switch to the grass for this filly, one who showed a lot of talent as a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old. And I wanted to make sure I had her in the mix. So 2, 6 as my A's, the 3 as a B.
2 is more your top pick, or 6 is more your top pick?
I mean, I think 6 is probably more my top. Well, if I had to pick one, I would take the 6. But if I had to bet one to win, I would take the 2. So however you want to slice
You're making this very complicated for the notes I send out to our In the Money Plus people, but that's okay. Folks listening get the full depth and breadth of the information. I'll pick an order and slug it in there. I was with you on AG Bullet. This is a proper Grade 1 turf sprinter. Won this race last year. Obvious favorite, I thought made sense to be with. I had 2 others, maybe at some prices that I'll throw in the mix to discuss as well. Starting with number 12, Simply in Front. This horse has been really consistent in terms of speed figures. That's something that I like, and definitely has class about her. Won the 3-year-old stake last year and might get the right kind of setup. And then Dance Macabre is a horse that's had success around Kentucky Downs before and might have simply bounced in this race last year. I'll be including her. 6, 12, and 4 for me, 2, 6, 3 for JK as we move on to race number 9, the Grade 2 Turf Sprint. I'll go first in this one, and I'll put in a vote for the 2 with one of my favorite names in training and one of my daughter Perrin's favorite names in training as a Big Bang Theory fan. Howard Wolowitz, Grade 1 winner over this track, working up a storm apparently for the return to the races after that debacle in Saudi. I think this one is not just for the Big Bang Theory fans. The 6, Kadem, ran an excellent race here last year, second to the very good Cogburn, who was untouchable at that point. Could get what we call a Spencer special here, swooping late to pass the tiring speeds. The 7, Arrest Me Red, owns some of the best form in the race and has had some success locally. And what I really like about Arrest Me Red, this horse that can win with a variety of running styles, not beholden to any one particular race shape. Call it 2, 6, and 7 for me. Where are you in the turf sprint?
Yeah, I'm going to use Kadem, who was beaten a couple of lengths, 3 lengths by Cogburn when Cogburn, like you mentioned, was invincible. And there's also a situation where Kadem missed the break in that race, broke extremely slow, came running late. So I think returning to the scene of that crime, I think that horse could be tough. I'll use Howard Wolowitz as a B type, but my top pick in here is going to be the 10, Pipsy. The way she won on debut in this country on May 24th, or May of 2024, she missed the break and came rolling. I knew she had a lot of talent. And then this summer at Saratoga, she showed that she can break away from there now. She popped away from there, made the front, and was very impressive. She didn't run great last time, but I'm going to forgive her for that performance, and I'm going to expect her to run her races 2 and 3 back. I think she could be tough in here at a big price. So the 10 will be my top choice. I'll use the 6 as an A as well, and I'll use the 2 Howard Wallowitz as a B.
Yeah, interesting to run the filly against the boys in this spot, and I don't think this is a cross-entered situation either. So we'll see. Going for the money with Pipsy, definitely a sign of confidence. Let's go to race number 10, which is the Grade 3 Nashville Derby. JK, we'll keep it with you.
Yeah, I'm going to spread a little bit more here. I'm going to use 4 horses. I'm going to use Test Score, who I thought was probably the best and most consistent longer distance older turf horse or younger, a 3-year-old turf horse, that we had. So I think he's one you want to have in the mix. I want to also have Final Gambit, who was galloping out pretty well in that Belmont Derby. Didn't run all that great in the Saratoga Derby, but the pace wasn't that quick. He broke a little bit slow. Maybe this configuration is going to play right into Final Gambit's hands. Wimbledon Hawkeye, I wanted to make sure I use. You got Frankie Dettori there. And then Burnham Square. I think that this horse has shown too much grit throughout his career. He's a Liam's Map. Reminds me a lot of Deterministic, right? Deterministic was a stakes winner as a 3-year-old on the dirt, and now is probably the best miler in the country, American miler on the turf for us. So maybe Burnham Square and Liam's Map will appreciate the switch to the grass. The horse has been working on the synthetic, so I'm hopeful. He's got so many big numbers on the dirt that if he takes to the grass even a little bit, he could be tough for this group. My top choice in here, I think, will probably be the 11 Final Gambit, but I do want to make sure I use all the rest of them equally.
All right. 11, 2, 12, and 5 is what I wrote down. Fascinating race. Great to see such cross intersection between the Kentucky Derby and the Nashville Derby. This one, no slouch at all, with just the $3.5 million on the line. I decided to, and maybe I'll regret this, but take a little shot against those horses that are famous for running on dirt coming here. Well, I certainly respect the cases you made on the 2 that you mentioned. I was going to go a little bit outside the box with some significant overlap with you as well. But number 6, Simulate, was the one I wanted to put on top. I just thought this horse was very much against the flow of things in the Secretariat and is going to get at least an even, if not a fast pace, with so many of those dirt type horses here to run at this time around. I just love this grass pedigree, and I think this is a configuration that could bring out Simulate's best in this spot, being by Kitten's Joy out of a Warfront dam. That's real proper turf breeding there. Number 2, Test Score, you already made the case. This is a tactical sort who's run the best races for the domestic 3-year-old turfers, should get a good trip as usual. This is the kind of horse that makes his own trip, and I think his representative effort might be enough here and could be a little bit forgotten in the wagering with all the big names coming over from the dirt. And then you also mentioned the 12 Wimbledon Hawkeye. This is an invader I want to keep on side. Fits on the best bits of form and could fly under the radar as well, just because, hey, there's all these horses people have heard of. They ran in the Kentucky Derby. So let's see what happens in the Nashville Derby. Let's move on, though, to race number 11. We've got the Kentucky Downs Ladies Turf. We're going the mile. Who do you like?
Yeah, this is a little bit of a spread for me, too. I've been a little bit sharper in some of the earlier races. I'm going to use the 2 Special Juan. The 3 Surefire Dancer, the 5 Suggesta, who I thought ran extremely well last time when she beat Sacred Wish, Lady Ilze, and then also Sacred Wish. Sacred Wish has run well at Kentucky Downs. She had trouble as well. She'll be my top pick in here. It's a little bit of a fan favorite for me, a little bit of a too close to not know the full story, but she's just one that's been unlucky. She was unlucky down at Churchill Downs. When she didn't really get away from there, she ran on well enough, but she always kind of shows up and runs. That's one thing I trust about her quite a bit. This has been a target for her for quite some time. I know that part of the big plan with her bringing her back as a 5-year-old was it to win some big money races at Kentucky Downs to justify keeping her in training. See if they can't sneak off another graded stake somewhere along the way between now and the November sale, and then I'd imagine you'd see her in there for sale. So I think that we're going to see the best of Sacred Wish. And like I said, I got to have those other ones in here. Special Juan would probably be the most likely, the one that I needed the most. She's tactical. She's drawn well. She gets Joelle, that whole thing I've talked about earlier, being able to get that great pocket trip. And then I'll use the Europeans as well, just to be safe. So I will, the numbers again are 2, 3, 5, 6, and 7, the 7 being the top pick.
All right, 7, the top pick over Special Juan, but yours top 2 are the same as my top 2. I just had them in the other order. Special Juan just looks so live to me, combining overall speed with tactical ability and class, and has also shown an affinity for this unusual racing surface. Those are kind of all the things I look for in one horse. Sacred Wish, old favorite of ours, ran such a bang-up race against the flow last year, and I think is going to get plenty of pace to set up a late run. Don't mind that 2-7 exact at all as we're talking about it. The 3 Cheshire Dancer, that's an in-form invader, should be a price. And just piecing through this form a little bit, I do think that a left-handed galloping configuration might just suit her. One more race to talk about on this show. Just a reminder, we've got you covered all 7 days of this meet. Subscribe to the In the Money Media YouTube channel so you don't miss any of it. Leave us a comment as well. Let us know your plays of the day or play of the day. Pick one horse you like. We're going to do the same at the end of this video. We close out with 2-year-old maidens going 6 furlongs on the turf. When it comes to all these late picks at Kentucky Downs, my friend, how are we going to get paid?
Well, holding our breath. Give me as many as I can get here. I'm going to use a lot of these first-time starters, right? I'll use the 1 Boonesboro, the 4 Drop Shot, the 5 Cynical Humor, and the 9 Judicial Review. And then there's a couple of horses that have run that I want to make sure I use. The 3 Mayweather, Dirt Turf. It's taken money in both of those 2 dirt starts. So there's obviously some talent there. You know, one of the phrases I kind of picked up this summer, I feel like I've said it a few times, is when you take money first time out, it means one of 2 things. It means you're either working really well or that you have a lot of talent. And you might not be ready, but you have a lot of talent. So one of the things is true about this horse. And so if the horse is working well, fooled him in the afternoon, maybe it's a surface problem. Or maybe there was just some talent, needed some experience, needed to work through some things, putting the blinkers on now, learning something. So I'm looking for this one to maybe appreciate the switch over to grass. Obviously, anything Michael McCarthy does, I give extra credit for. And then you talk about trainers who like targets. The 8 Secret Marriage, it's a City of Light. We know how I feel about City of Light on the grass. This Vicky Oliver trained horse, Mike Maloney, I think, is the one who kind of pointed to me how she targets spots. And even with young horses, she targets spots. And I think for this one, he got that run at 16-1, didn't take a lot of money, ran better than I think his odds suggested. And now he shows up here in a spot where he could definitely be ignored as well. So the 8 will be my top choice. I'm going to use the rest of them as A's anyways, but I think the 8 is very interesting to kind of jump up and make a move.
This is funny. These races are so competitive, and yet we have a lot of overlap, including in this spot. One aside, since we got a minute here that I'll get to, is there is the 3rd cynical possibility for the horses that take money. Usually it's a proxy for speed, working well, or talent. Once in a while, it could be they're just a morning glory and they don't want to show it in the afternoon. I'm not saying that about this horse, but I did just want to throw that in there, that there are some that just never do run to those the ways they're bet early. But it's usually one of your 80%, I'd say top one of your 2 things is correct, and hopefully for connections that'll be the case with your 3 runner you mentioned. But yeah, for me, Secret Marriage, I had a similar note to you. Shrewd trainer in Vicky Oliver, valuable race under the belt, and I just think is going to be much fitter for this test and is supposed to move forward. Another one you said real nice things about was the 5 Cynical Humor. Terrific pedigree, fast-looking works. Wes Ward actually does really well around Kentucky Downs. My hypothesis would have been, Wesley, he's so known for speed, maybe this more galloping configuration, uphill finish, maybe he doesn't do so well. He does fine. This is I think he knows the right horses to point to these spots, and that gets backed up by the numbers. One you didn't mention, and that will need some help drawing in, but I would keep on side if he does, the 14 Vito Corleone. Interesting pedigree for this one, and Dallas Stewart has much better numbers than I realized first out. If this horse sneaks in off the AEs, JK, he might just make me an offer I can't refuse.
I see what you did there.
Play of the day time, JK. Let's get to it for this Kentucky Downs Saturday. Great day of racing. I'm going to be firing and having fun. But if I had to hold your feet to the fire for one best bet, who would it be?
Yeah, it'd be race 9, the 10 horse, Pipsy. This horse showed so much talent in that debut, missing the break and coming running impressively. Watch that race if you haven't seen it. And then the race 2 back, popped away from there, made the front, showed a new dimension. And Will Walden, I predict, is going to probably have a pretty good Kentucky Downs.
He does well everywhere else. Why not Kentucky Downs? For me, I'm going to go to race number 11, the grade 3 Kentucky Downs Ladies Turf. And I'll give you an exacta for the play of the day. I want Special Juan and Sacred Wish in either order. I've been very impressed with both of them, and I think they're going to be very suited to a big performance on Saturday. That's it, JK, for this edition of the show. We're going to be back with coverage of the Sunday Kentucky Downs card. I want to remind folks they can get a month-long unlimited subscription to RaceLens, powerful handicapping tool, for $1. Go to equibase.com, hit that RaceLens tab, use the promo code KYDowns25, and also you can check this out in the show notes. Lots of contest opportunities at Kentucky Downs. Hit the link down in the description to learn more about the King of the Turf on the Kentucky Downs website. For JK, I'm PTF. May you win all your Kentucky Downs photos.